Well, some disturbing details recently came forward in Lue Elizondo's book, which have the internet memeing and making fun of him as the U.S. torture czar at Guantanamo Bay. Apparently, a cable, um, is it the CIA cables? There's a bunch of CIA cables that were leaked with WikiLeaks that showed that the torturing how the CIA tortured accused 9/11 mastermind Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, who recently made the news because they were going to pardon him, or actually offer him a plea deal, not pardon him. The Biden administration wanted to offer him a plea deal, which is unheard of in a case like 9/11, which has gone on for 23 years. This guy's been in detention at Guantanamo awaiting trial. Supposedly, the government has accused him of being the 9/11 mastermind, and the key player behind the 9/11 attacks. It wasn't Osama bin Laden, and these 19 hijackers. It was Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, and they got this confession out of him by doing just absurd torture, secret prison cells and stuff. They kidnapped this guy. They beat him. They anally electrocuted him. I believe they took his son and crushed and threatened to crush his sons. They were like crushing his son's testicles in front of him, to get him to give these confessions. This, basically you put people through enough torture that they'll confess to anything. They'll be like, yeah, I did it. I don't care, whatever. So it's really brought questions about the case against him as being the real 9/11 mastermind. And the whole issue with Luis Elizondo being part of that, and one of the main guys who was head of this torture camp in the early 2000s, is really interesting. And it's really just turned the books on all these people out there in the community who, a lot of people that were promoting Lue Elizondo and saying he was a hero. All the UFO channels out there, even big channels that don't deal with physics and stuff, we're trying to talk about and cover UFOs, and they promoted this fraud, this torture, and a lot of stuff's come out about Lue Elizondo. He claimed to be head of this Pentagon UFO program. That was found out. There's no that was one of his first claims coming out of the door. No mention of it in the new book. He's dropped the argument entirely. Apparently, he misappropriated. I mean, people have accused him of misappropriating Pentagon funds to study UFOs and not really tell the Pentagon what he was doing. And the UFO studies that he did were basically like Skinwalker Ranch, remote viewing, all the bullshit CIA stuff mixed in and called a UFO program. It was none of the real shit. I mean, we've talked about and covered a lot of real UFO programs, a lot of real UFO scientists and stuff on this channel over the years. We've been doing it for 2 decades on this channel and been completely shadow banned, never gotten interviews on any of these big channels. These big channels were interviewing guys like Lue Elizondo and propping up and promoting complete frauds. Meanwhile, I was banging on Kurt's door. I had his texts and email. I was just blowing Kurt up about all the stuff about Lue Elizondo. Provided him with a lot of good questions, some of which he asked during the interviews that he gave with Elizondo, not all. And, he just went with promoting this bullshit version of ufology for the views and the clicks, and just ignored the scientists and the people that have been studying this like me for 20 years. And, that reflects very, very strongly on other channels when you do that kind of stuff, when you promote people that are complete liars and frauds and scumbags. And, this guy came out on stage with Tom Delonge in 2017 with this To the Stars Academy. They said that they were, had insiders with government secrets with this Alcubierre warfare, space-time metric engineering. They had a piece of this UFO craft, an actual part of the UFO. They showed some real bad clips of, fake UFO stuff in addition. Mixed a lot of remote viewing and the Skinwalker Ranch and alien stuff, and then a lot of entertainment stuff with. They went off a deep end and really lost track of all the science that they said they were going to do. They were going to build a spaceship. They took investors' money, saying that they had a piece of this spaceship, this arts parts piece that they were going to analyze, and they're going to give the public the real technology from UFOs and stuff. And that piece turned out to be a 1D layered metamaterial, nanomaterial. And as I pointed out, we've been talking about 2D and 3D metamaterials, quasi-crystals, hyperdimensional crystals, photonic crystals, building quantum computers out of photonics and spintronic quantum computers, and all the real technology behind this that they promised that they were going to give, and then basically gave you a circle jerk for years while taking in millions of dollars from people. I know an MIT scientist who thought this was going to be the real deal with the high level credentials of the people involved, and they got him for over $1 million in an investment. So there are people that donated tons of money to this group. Steve Justice, this Lockheed Martin guy, ended up quitting. He was one of the first to drop out, and then they all kind of fizzled out and went their own separate ways and did their own individual things. And now Lue Elizondo, who's so committed to disclosure, transparency, and just getting the word out and information out, he published a book, but apparently you have to buy it. He didn't publish the information for free for everyone to have, like I do with all of my information. And it just goes to show you that people will worship and then assault you and make, like, I've had people like go after me personally. I've had people come interfere with people in my personal lives. They've reached out to people in my personal life. These people from the internet, there's a whole harassment group that was behind Lue Elizondo called the King Milkfart Harassment Group. And this guy, led by this guy, King, he called himself King Milkfart. I believe his real name is Mike Boyle, and he's connected with this Leah Prime. And a lot of these people that were really promoting Lue Elizondo as a hero. This is the real truth. I mean, they sold ufology and the mainstream media, and our policymakers, congressmen and stuff, listened to this group of fraudsters and hoaxsters, who we come to find out, Lue Elizondo, it comes from this really dark background where he tortured a guy who probably had nothing to do with 9/11. Let's be honest. I've done more research into 9/11 than most people out there. There's probably 50 people in the world that know as much or more about 9/11 than me. I've interviewed most of them on this channel, tried to bring that information out. And people want to know about 9/11, they can go to my channel. I have a whole playlist on my channel, the 9/11 Conspiracy Mega Playlist. All this has been filtered out to the best information. None of this has been debunked. None of this, there's debunking videos out there that misappropriate, change around the facts, and don't really cover this information in detail. But if you really want to dive into it and become an expert on the info, I have a ton of information here, and I also am willing. I do debates. I also always am looking for skeptics and people who want to do debates on 9/11. I do not believe that Khalid Sheikh Mohammed was the mastermind behind 9/11. If you look into 9/11, you'll find out there was this group called the Continuity of Government Program, Armageddon Plan. And look up this article from 2004 on the Atlantic and read that on the Armageddon Plan. And then you'll know who planned 9/11, who the real masterminds behind 9/11 were. It was Dick Cheney and Donald Rumsfeld. Their job was to think up 9/11, think up crazy style attacks on the government and plan for it. So there was a place and a time that 9/11 was thought up and masterminded and planned. It was on those COG think tanks during the 1980s. And the CIA knows that. And the CIA knows their case against KSM is Khalid Sheikh Mohammed is complete and utterly vacant. They don't care. Prosecutors in this country will prosecute any case. They put innocent people in jail every single day. Doesn't matter. and secret evidence, secret trials, secret hearings. It's all a bunch of craziness. And the fact that they used the same guy who took part in the torturing, electrocution, anal electrocution, and testicular, crushing of Khalid Sheikh Mohammed and his son's testicles, to garner false confessions that these guys just couldn't take it anymore. Yeah, sure, I did 9/11. Whatever, just stop the torture. Good, we got our confession, we got our evidence. Now we have all the evidence we need to pursue with a prosecution. Job done for the government there. You're great. Now you got to go and reframe yourself and try to reinvent yourself and hide this whole dark past about you, helping us cover up, who was really behind the 9/11 attacks and who really did 9/11. Now you're going to cover up UFOs. This guy is my sworn worst enemy. This guy is an absolute piece of shit. And all the people who called him a hero and then dissed me and blocked me and did all and called me the Felon 5 and brought up all this shit about my past from 20 years ago to try to defame my character. All of those people are the real pieces of shit. You supported a liar, a government liar and counterintelligence agent. This guy worked in counterintelligence. His job was to lie to people. And then he comes out and pretends to be this UFO disclosure superhero. And he's brought absolutely no evidence, nothing of value to the table. And he's turned off countless people with this Skinwalker Ranch remote viewing. I was part of a secret spy Elizondo program to secretly spy on people using my psychic powers and psychic abilities. Remote viewing is bullshit, okay? There's not a single person who can demonstrate it. This is not how sources and methods intelligence collection works at all. Any CIA or intelligence agent who thinks they can get reliable, accurate intelligence from someone with superpowers that can psychically spy on you and watch you masturbate in your bedroom is a fucking idiot. Okay? All those people who show me any of the results. There's these people that hold all these studies and targets and, remote view the target and stuff. It's all bullocks, all 100% bullshit. And the fact that this cunning con artist of a piece of shit individual is talking about it gives you more proof that it's disinformation, because this is right from the Pentagon toilet mouth itself. These people are the absolute worst. I cannot believe that. I told people about this group, and I warned you about this group. You can go back to my videos on this. Go back to my channel on this. I talked about this. This is not the first time this has happened, ufologists. Everyone's gotten too old. Half you people weren't born in 1988. Had no idea that, there was a group just like TTSA that came out and was going to give us disclosure and release all the files and the government secrets. And they came out back in 1988. It was called the Aviary. And there was a group of people that gave themselves bird names like Condor, Falcon, and Owl was Hal Puthoff. Hal Puthoff was actually part of this aviary group that came out and did the same disinformation tactic for the government back in the 80s. That's bullshit. The same group. Owl was Hal Puthoff. Hal Puthoff sitting right here at the conference. I don't know if he's sitting next to Lue Elizondo, but no, he's sitting on Hal. I think is sitting on the end, but he's still at the conference. There's Hal Puthoff. So this isn't the first time this kind of bullshit has been pulled on the UFO community. When I saw it, and I saw what they were talking about, and what they offered, and what they had, what it should have looked like, from my experience and what I know about the programs and what they could have talked about and released, versus what they came out with and did instead with the party balloons and the drawings of this, whatever the heck this craft was that they promised they were going to build with their investors' money. They swindled people for and stole from people. These fancy, well-dressed, well-produced liars. And Tom DeLonge didn't know any better. He's this punk rock Blink-182 moron who just fell for it all, man. I'm really sorry for Tom. I really feel bad for Tom. I really wish Tom would reach out to me and be like, dude, I'm sorry. Like, let's fucking correct this and make it right. And I got fucking taken for a ride by these goddamn lying assholes. He blocked me and created sock accounts, and then they had this whole harassment archive team, like, of these people go do personal research into my life, reach out to people in my personal life, try to get me fired from my jobs, try to get me, try to fuck up everything in my personal life, just because I was going after, and I had a big channel on UFOs and was exposing the truth about this fucking Pentagon lying counterintelligence son of a bitch. How do you feel about that? I'm sorry for the language, but this is just beyond. This guy tortured, tortured people for the CIA. It is bullshit for crimes that the CIA committed. I mean, the government knows so much more about 9/11 than they were ever going to tell the public. You can go watch the whole 9/11 playlist, theories, expert versus expert. There's all these experts giving theories on 9/11, and then we talk about all the dumb conspiracy, all the dumb conspiracy stuff's weeded out of this. This is all like the real deal facts, and I have 2 documentaries in here that I made right here in 12, 13, and 14. Those are the 3 most important videos in the list. Even if those should be required viewing in every high school. Every high school in America should, we used to be in high school, they used to reel the TV and everyone would be happy because we were watching movies that day instead of, other stuff. So if everyone high school in America could show these 3 videos, it would just change everything. It would be so awesome. So I'm just going to play a little clip of one of these. This is a good one. I'm going to stop the stream and I'm going to represent this. Hold on, so that you guys can hear the audio. This is a kind of irrelevant stuff, but hold on one second. Oh,
God. Pool of molten steel that was found in the bottom of the towers.
I am too.
And
just tell me about it. Have you seen it?
Well, not personally, but eyewitnesses there found huge poles of molten steel beneath the towers, and some scientists don't think that the collapse of the building could have melted all that steel. And physics professor analyzed some of the steel, and Stephen Jones, and he found evidence of thermate residue, which would explain how the buildings collapsed by means of pre-planted explosives. So, have you analyzed?
So funny. The way these guys covered this up, man, is disgusting. This is the lead engineer of NIST, just lying to people's faces about the evidence, the pure evidence. Their government definitely knows more about 9/11. If you look into the research that we've done, there's this whole thing called explosive connections. It's on 9/11 Blogger, one of the old school great sites for this. We've done detailed research of all the companies, all the people that worked in the buildings, on what floors, the history, the renovation programs that happened on the floors. There's links to a lot of that stuff on the associated threads. It is crazy what's going on. Thank you, Complazart, for the support, man. We need all the support we can get, because we're telling the real truth on this channel, man. We don't bullshit, we don't sugarcoat, and we're not afraid to just tell people what is really going on and what the information is real. We're not gonna. I've sorted through all the nonsense, and this is the real deal. We need a new 9/11 investigation. I'm endorsing RFK for president. I can't think of another president that has,
I've known Joe Biden.
Joe Biden has not been running this country. We've been joking on this channel that it's been weekend at Biden's for the last 4 years. And now it's all come out that it's actual reality. So what was a joke is actually the truth. Joe Biden is completely senile. He's not even running the country. So who is? Kamala is not running the country. She says she's going to fix inflation and immigration. She's vice president right now, and she's running the country more than Joe is. Obviously, he can't even do anything. And she's not like, so Kamala Harris is a big joke for the presidential election here. Trump had the opportunity to release the JFK files. He didn't. RFK Jr., I know, is going to release the JFK files. The JFK file is key to the UFO file. If we want the truth about UFOs and not this bullshit Lue Elizondo crap,
I've known
we
Joe
need,
Biden.
we need RFK. RFK is the president we need. And there's all this effort out there to say it's only two options. We only have two options. There's only, if we can all come together and fight this, man, we'll break the two-party system. And this is the year we can do it. This is the year we all do it. We all need to come together and do this. And I've reached out to so many people and told them this, like, you know, why doesn't Joe Rogan host the friggin' debate? So we don't have this argument over ABC or CBN and CNN, all fake news, one side or the other. So anyways, guys, that's where I'm at with all this nonsense. RFK is the president we need. We need to get to the bottom of these people. And also Lue Elizondo's father was in the Bay of Pigs. Those are the CIA people that killed Kennedy. So this whole thing goes full circle on this bullshit. So keep spreading the truth and awareness about all this, man. And we need the truth to get out. And the CIA and their infiltration and the Pentagon's infiltration of the UFO community, all these communities, it needs to end. We need the truth. Thank you all, and keep fighting the good fight. Everyone out there, thank you so much for the support, and thank you so much for helping just crush that. We're totally exposing their up. It's all out in broad daylight now, so just keep at it hard. The next couple of months is going to be fire. Just fight harder every day. And I'm making a whole bunch of these banners and signs I'm going to go hang on the highway right now. I'll post some videos about that soon. But I got to go. Love you guys, and keep up the good fight, man.